get started unboxing these. So, I don't know. Hit the camera. There's so much here. Again, by the time you guys see this and you see the thumbnail, you know more than I do. I have a suspicion of what this is. But the fact that it came in 3 different boxes is what's throwing me off here. So I guess I'm going to open it and find out exactly what it is. If it's what I'm thinking, then it's long overdue. Seems everybody got it but me. And if it's not, then I guess we'll find out together. Or I guess I'll find out. You'll already know. It's kind of like the whole prototype thing where, you know, like it's a surprise each time. You never really know how to... Very good packaging. I always love when I see this. Make sure that was focused way down there. So let me make sure this is focused for you guys. There you go. Aha. So I was thinking correct. This is the Joan of Arc Wave 2 finally arriving like a million years later. Oh my goodness. Looks like this is just Apocalypse in here. Let's see how to open this nicely. You do it like that, obviously. Alright. Oh my gosh, this is a huge... This is like the one I was really excited about. Alright. Alright. There's one box. One box for one item. So finally we have Apocalypse. The upside down horse. Really been looking forward to that. That looks awesome. Just this whole thing has some really cool and unique miniatures in there. Looking forward to that. Alright, now I'm assuming these are all related, but that could actually be... Oh, this one's like the heaviest. Could actually be wrong. It could be a few things coming at the same time, but I don't think so. I imagine this is just all of Wave 2 here. So finally, I get to have an unboxing of every single Joan of Arc item for you guys until 1.5 comes, which I also backed. Because I really enjoyed Joan of Arc. My wife did too, and so we played it quite a bit. I'm excited to have this kind of reinvigorate that play and get us back into it because it's a lot of fun. And it's a lot of game. So there's that too. Oh my goodness. Alright, so here we have a book. I'm going to get one of those in each one. It's Quartermatic Logistics. So here's the Compendium here. Very nice, hardbound. Alright, then we got, an even bigger book. Ugh. The role-playing game. I love... Okay, so I don't even actually play pen and paper. I just enjoy reading these. I think these make great tabletop, you know, kind of coffee table books where you can just read about different stuff, and it tells you all about the world, and I actually really like these. This looks like a lot of rules, though, too, but either way, I tend to really enjoy these. I'm going to go put it... See, there's a whole thing on leprosy, in case that's what you want to know. 101 things you didn't know about leprosy. Alright, and what do we have here? Oh, now this is cool looking. I actually don't know exactly what this is, but it's really freaking sweet. Looks like still RPG stuff. Very cool, though. Again, we'll look into all this. So, I don't watch other people's unboxings, so that means 2 things. First of all, this is still all new to me. Second of all, it means I don't know how weird I am commenting on all this stuff. But here we have the Ars Nova expansion. It has like all the like priest dudes and stuff. Moving right along. This is the main box here. See, I'm surprised it didn't do this and just do a massive box again. Maybe it was cheaper to do the 3. Alright, let's see how this is. Alright, okay. Alright. And here it has the Legendary Battles one. That's super cool. There's a lot of... Oh, this is the heavy one right here. I was surprised how heavy this is. Okay, so I'm going to show you too much more. We'll have to open it up. Alright, almost done with this box. Then we got... Oh no. It's not retail. That makes me sad. Alright, so we got the siege equipment. And we got some ugly cardboard boxes here. And Ottoman. Alright. I wonder if that's what it was like waiting on or something like that. And we got a single... loose mini, some minis here. Some Behrman and a case you wanted some guys in a baggie loose. And then this is the kind of stuff to just throw in. We got a dice set. Oh, my wife's gonna love that. And some updated cards by the looks of it here. All right, one more box. All right. Because that wasn't enough. This is more than most Kickstarters are in total. So the fact that this is just wave 2 and that they already have a 1.5, it's darn impressive the scale Mythic Games can create games at. Once we finally get like Solomon Kane and stuff like that, man, it's going to be insane. Okay. And because I'm starting to collect these. Those are like the little leaflets they had in like Blu-rays back in the day. Do you remember that? Oh, we have the Village Pack. Every D&D player's like dream here if they wanted to play like the little RPG thing, which is perfect. They have the RPG book. You can get like a blacksmith, and you can get like sheep and stuff like that. And okay, this might require. Let's see if I can do this. Maybe I can do the whole trick again. What do you guys think? Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh. Oh. All right. Anything else in here? Do I need to care? No. Oh, this is the big one. And Siege. And just look how thick that is. That's insane. All right. And catching my breath, we'll get into it. Okay, well, I caught my breath for like several days now, but I'm here and I'm ready to spin. The reason I didn't unbox this like super quick is because there's just a ton of it, and I need to. You guys know me. This is going to be a while, I'm sure. I'm going to go and start with these doodads here. I'm suspecting this is 3 musicians and 3 standard bearers. This is to help with the core box inefficiencies. So when they did the core box, they asked you to use a lot of these minis, and you didn't like have enough. And so I'm suspecting, oh, look at that, that's sad, that this is just to help with that. These are the same quality as before. I've kind of already commented on these, though putting them in a bag kind of sucks because I'm assuming there's no real, well, actually, I'll probably just dump them in like their trays or whatever, and it should be fine. Though I thought the Bannermen, at least, could have sworn both of these guys were actually in the tray itself. So I'm not quite sure where I'll stick them, somewhere, I suppose. But yeah, when you get little stuff like this, it's like kind of hard to store them sometimes. So, all right, this I also suspect might just be fixes for the core. Be my assumption from wave 1. It's kind of a little update there, though I don't know because I backed 1.5 and I'm just now getting wave 2. So. But yeah, see, so here's Joan of Arc. So this must just be a short update between Wave 1 and Wave 2, but before the 1.5, because I don't know when this was shipped from China. I don't know where this has been all my life, but it's been somewhere. Either way, cards are the cards. Oh, there's another bear, a doctor, hunter. I mean, so yeah, these aren't new cards at all. A little bent, because they're just kind of in a wrap by themselves, but whatever. All right, let's look at some pretty dice, huh? Look at that. Role-playing dice set. Oh. Now, again, with this game, the all-in was insane. There's so much to Joan of Arc. It's just craziness. Looks like there's some tape here. Well, let's solve that. Whoop. Whoop. All right. I don't know. I probably should have opened it from the bottom, I'm thinking, at this point. What the heck? Kind of... they do stuff like this just to watch me struggle, I swear. Okay. Hold on, guys. I got this. All right. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. Look at that. That was a lot of work. Got it open, though. Come on. There better not be tape on this, too. 2 levels of tape is 2 levels too much. All right. Oop. Got some dice here. These are really cool. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Just so you guys can see. There you are. That should look pretty good. These are very, very nice. They're quite light. They're not really heavy. One thing I'm noticing that I really, really like is it almost seems, I mean, like this is painted, I can tell. However, it's very crisp to the point where it almost looks like there's an outline. Do you see that? Like it almost looks like there is a solid, like I don't know what technology they used to paint this. Because a lot of times when you get the painted one, you get it a little bit on the edge and then not so much on this edge. But these are all very crisp lines. The paint is not super smooth. It actually has a little bit of a bump to it. But it's consistent too. It actually just almost looks kind of textured. This actually looks quite nice. I kind of like it. Very frosty. And very, like, if you notice here, this looks like a let me make sure I'm in camera here. This looks like a totally different die than this. Do you see the difference there? Like, it's very lopsided. It's like almost half and half. So you can have this one, which is cool. And then you have this one, which is like, wow. And so it looks like that kind of happens here too, where it's almost half and half. So this half, almost no marbleization. And this one is like nothing but swirly swirls. Yeah, that's actually, look at that. It happens quite a bit. Like, I'm fine with it. I think it look cool. But it is kind of interesting. I've never seen it that lot. Like, here's just a big old reflective part, and then it kind of slowly gets into this, craziness over here. So it's like Picasso painted this part of the dice, and then some like super modern person did this. My assumption. I don't know. They look cool. I like them. And even though they're painted, they seem actually like those are some crisp. I do like those a lot. Like them a lot. A little light. I actually would have liked it maybe a little bit heavier. I just really like chucking dice. And so you get a whole bunch of like really heavy dice and you throw them on the table and they make a lot of sound and they bounce around and it's exciting. That's like my Panchico machine or something like that. I love it. All right. Let's open these random, that sounds good. Random non-pretty boxes. So these are the boxes that look ugly on the shelf, make me sad. I would love at some point to just, I don't know, I'd almost pay just to get a sleeve. Like it doesn't have to be printed on the box like the ones we're going to get to, which by the way, I'm keeping the siege and the apocalypse and that fun stuff until the very end, mainly because it gives me something to look forward to and because they're just so big. I would hate to just like spend the first little bit, of the whole video just unboxing a single thing, if that makes sense. I don't know. It would annoy me. I got to start small and work my way up. Just how I operate, I guess. Anyway, I would love, this is quite thick, by the way. I like that a lot. I always like the thicker style plastic. Like, that is really good, which I appreciate. So, yeah, that's nice. But anyway, yeah, just one sleeve I think would be great. I'm fine with this stuff inside of a box, but, when I kind of have this like Kickstarter shelf of shame that I'm going to be starting where it's outside of the view and people don't see it and it's just all this ugly cardboard. I think it'd just be a little bit nicer. Okay. Oh, and we got the bases. There's the bases. All right, so we got more guys and stuff here. This is the Ottoman, by the way, the Ottoman Empire, and let's open up some. I do appreciate that these are easy open. Right here, there we are. Sort of. Is anything easy with me on this? Typically not, but I'll manage. Just have to throw it on the ground. So same quality. I do really like the. You get the French and the English, so this is really only two. I really like the art, especially the color scheme here. So this is very blue and his armor, and here become blues and greens. And here we have this very kind of yellow look on this one. So that's kind of cool. I like seeing that. And then you got the front and back, same art, same all that. What is that? A black and two red, two black. Very nice. Some good guys. All right, so we got that. And underneath, we have... I wonder how much different this game would have weighed if you just got your language cards. I do sometimes wonder that. And here we got the Mounted Bowman, the Artilleryman, the Cannon, Cavalier Archers. Okay, hold on, wait. So we got these. We got these three here. Again, very interesting art. Some of it seems like, I don't know what it is about this one, but this one seems blown up, like it's zoomed in. Oh, that's why. It is. Man, look at the fact that I called it says a little bit. So this is just this portion of the card zoomed in, which is kind of interesting. And I could tell instantly because it looked just like slightly grainy. I was like, why does this look, I mean, compared to this or even this, like look how kind of nice that can looks. And then here it's because they just cropped the image. I mean, I guess it works, but I don't know. The fact that I noticed it right away is kind of a bummer. All right. There is no, by the way, in this tray, there's no like slightly smaller part to put this in. It's just this big slot in here. And so these are just going to kind of be a little bit loose in there because a lot of times they'll do like the smaller, come on. Really? The smaller inlay here for the little cards, but that is not the case here. So they're just going to kind of be loose or you store them some other way. All right. Let's look at some of those cannons, by the way. All right, so here's the cannon, and I must say I'm really, really just impressed with the detail level here. They tend to be a little bit of a chunkier design, which makes sense from the size perspective. These are really tiny, but I mean, just this base, right, is plenty actually big, and it's completely smooth on top. I said this in the first unboxing, but I really appreciate not having a mold line down the middle of it. That's very impressive that they did that so well. And then even here, like this little dragon, his like teeth are showing here. You can see the teeth very well defined. There's a slight mold line here. There's technically one here, but you can't even see it. It's so faint. It's like almost pretty much completely smooth. So besides that little line right here, this is pretty much as perfect as you can kind of expect it to scale. Honestly, it's very well done. I'm pretty happy with a little bit of a poor spot here, but these are very nice. But we kind of knew that going into it. Again, look how tiny they are. So itty bitty. And yet he's got a mustache and cheekbones and a brow. So, I mean, again, very impressive. All single piece, of course, right? But this is actually staying quite straight, which I like. I like the shield design on him as well. And even his little feather cap. Again, just kind of great detail, especially for the size. His fingers are all sculpted. He's got sculpted fingers, which is very impressive. A little bit of a little tag there, but otherwise okay. Come on. Looking at this guy, again, he's got some great actual chainmail here. Harper, shut up. He's got some great chainmail here. I'm actually pretty impressed with that. Just have a bit of a mold line on the side. But his weapon, while thick, stayed quite nice and straight, same with his arm and everything. And again, his thumb is clearly showing and everything. Just, I mean, painting at this scale kind of frustrates me a little bit, but the fact that you even could is really impressive. These are bent. That's very bent. And it's not just that one either. I mean, they're kind of all a little bent there. So I'm going to have to work on that. But a little hot water does wonders for that. Otherwise, he does have kind of a mold line all the way down the back here and a little pour spout on his shoulder. That's probably the worst I've seen so far, just when it comes to that. Which is saying quite a lot because it's not like terrible. So that's actually pretty good. The hair's kind of interesting here. There's a weird hair there. I don't know. It just seems odd placement there, but one strand is kind of messed up. Otherwise, definitely got the Maybelline hair over there. Yeah, looks good. I'm always like just how, again, small the base is, and so I like it when the base is actually kind of small. It makes it look like it's just a tiny bit out of a bigger area versus them on a platform, kind of posing or whatever. This is kind of an interesting pelt kind of design here. You can see a little bit of the kind of feet here, but it does get a little kind of off camera. Here we go. So the pelt here, there you can see a little bit of kind of the feet here, but it gets a little melty. Here it's a little bit better defined there. The so-so texture here, but then this wing here is super cool. The hair looks nice. The flag, of course, does. And this one actually stayed fairly straight, which I kind of like as well. Again, very deep pore spout here, and kind of a mold line right down the back. Kind of unfortunate. Wish that wasn't quite there. Next we got the cross, or the Calvary Bowman. And yeah, no, they look cool. I like the arrow. I like them holding the arrow like that. I mean, that looks huge. It's like the side of his face, but that's all right. The little stitching and the saddle, that's a good attention to detail like that. Good muscle definition on the horse as well. Good facial features. And he's actually on kind of a little rock. Looks like almost kind of pushing off of it. Kind of interesting pose. Let's see, what do we have in here? Here we have some more guys. Let's go ahead and open them up. If I can. There we are. And look at that. We got these little guys here. It looks like this foot is bigger than the other one, doesn't it? Doesn't this look like a smaller foot? Are they all like that? Do they wear two different kinds of shoes? Yeah, I'm not sure why this is. I think perhaps because there's a little bit sticking out, so it's not quite flush. But this foot just seems smaller to me. I don't know. Otherwise, again, they're being very smart by connecting the sword to the moon crescent here so that it's a little bit more sturdy. Mold line here. Unfortunate, but not too bad. I mean, it's a pretty good placement. It's just showing a bit more. All right, let's try going a little bit faster, huh? Use the tools of the trade. And again, really like kind of the detail level of them all. They're all pretty cool. He almost looks slightly off center, which is great because has all this extra space here. Yeah, I think he is a little off center on his base. That's a nice attention to detail. Alright. Oh my gosh, how many guys we got in here? Lots and lots of guys. Open them both. There we go. Get these guys. Yep, like them. Again, great facial detail. Love the fact that they even have, like, you know, beards and stuff like that. That's always really good. They're just kind of a plain dude, though. He's just standing there. Just not doing a whole lot. Put him on the battlefield, I guess. And then another bowman. This is cool. I like that they're kind of shooting up. Again, I always like that they're actually pulling the bow back as well. I think it's kind of cool. Super fine detail here. I like that the quiver is right here instead of on their back. The shields on their back. And it's kind of cool that they got shields. You don't always see bowmen with shields. That's kind of a nice thing to see. I should just maybe... Nah, it's going to be too thick. So I'll have to stick it underneath and do this whole thing. Hope and pray. Oh. Perfect. Perfect, of course. All right. One ugly box down, one ugly box to go. This is the siege equipment. Sounds exciting. Gonna unzoom a little bit so you can see what it is I'm doing. There you go. Again, I do like this thicker wrap. This feels nice. Okay, move the blade out of the way. This is fun. I like this. I'm not going to bother looking at the cards too much again. You guys have seen so many cards at this point. And again, you're going to get the French and English version. Just a few bases here. It's because most of this is not people. The people are just kind of, looks like manning the guns and whatnot. This looks to be just kind of separate poses of the same guy. I'm actually not going to just keep looking at kind of the little guys. I'll do standout ones, I think. just to speed things along a little bit. I know, what an idea. This is all ABS. That's very nice to see. So ABS is shinier. Let me zoom in again for you guys so you guys can see. There you go. All right. So ABS is shinier. And so whenever you see this kind of reflectivity, you typically know it's ABS. It'll feel a little bit different too. It's very, very smooth, and then can have some very hard, rigid lines like this, like gear part here, where they kind of adjust the weapon here. Yeah, this is very nice. Again, I really like this. I like that the bases are going to be right here, kind of right there with it, instead of like way off to the side. It's kind of cool. I dig that. This looks nice. And again, actually pretty good detail here. I would actually, like, I'm surprised this isn't more rigid. I think they could have made this coil a bit more, to the point where it's almost smooth in a few spots. Like, you hear that? You hear the difference? So this is on the bottom here, and then I want to do the top. So it's just smoother here. There's just a few, I don't know. I mean, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. Also, I would have appreciated, I'm assuming this is wood, and there's some wood texture here on the top, but then on the side it's completely smooth. Maybe there's some metal plating. I kind of doubt there's a whole lot of metal plating on the sides of these things. So I would have liked a little bit more wood. Yeah, see, this is just like solid, smooth. I would have liked some more wood texture. I think pretty much just in general all over the place here, and have it a little bit thicker. But I do like that it's ABS, and that it looks really nice. Those are both pluses, of course. All right, we got a pretty sweet looking battering ram here. I really like this. That's a fun one. Texture's super cool. I love how this actually goes in like this. And again, you could just paint this black. It would look great, I think, in there. And you wouldn't even see. Yeah, this is, I mean, I pretty much like all of this. This is cool. Yeah, pretty hefty too. If it feels pretty good. It does look a little wobbly though. Do you see that? So that's kind of unfortunate that it's like there's some space here underneath this wheel compared to this wheel. You can't win everything, I suppose. All right, now how did he go back in? He wasn't straight. There he is. Okay, we got some more cannons here. Wood texture on this is actually pretty good. I like the wood texture here. Do you see how much more rigid that is? Do you hear that? I'm going to go back to the wood texture here. If I can find some. What you're hearing is actually there we go. Hear that? Yeah, it's like smooth. It's me like clipping on the side like that on accident. Yeah, no, again, this is super cool. I dig it. I like that it's in a little box. And the wood texture is good. And this time the guys are going to be just on both sides there, which is cool just to have them off center, have a little showpiece kind of thing. Okay, got this. Okay, again, ABS is kind of this part up here, and then this is the PVC down below. Great wood texture here. I like that. That would show up on a wash quite well. Look very nice, I think. I like the ridges here. No clear like mold lines or anything like that. A little bit of a poor spot at the end, but that's okay. Cool little kind of, and again, maybe a little heavy here, but that makes sense, right? So either way, I think that looks cool. I like that. Lastly, this is oh no, not lastly. There's one more after this. How could I forget? This one, interestingly enough, is not ABS at all. This is all PVC. And again, I'm seeing very, like this wood, great. This wood, very, very faint. I guess this is actually here. Maybe it's just super smooth. This isn't like the ABS one. The ABS one, surprisingly, is the only one with a kind of almost a lack of detail. A little bit of a bent fuse there, though. Or not a fuse. The part to adjust it and all that. But maybe it's a fuse. I don't know. I'm no expert. Okay, and of course, the big one. Look at that. That is fun. That's just cool. I dig that. Oh man, it doesn't bend. That would have been like if it was like super useful. But all right, let's check the rope on here. So that seems good. A little smooth on the back. But otherwise, it's just this inside part that's maybe a little smooth. Otherwise, that's actually pretty darn good. I like the fact that it you can actually move it. That's kind of fun. It's like an oil rig. Huge base. Again, super smooth on the base that I really appreciate. You can do a lot of basing on here, which would be nice. And the wood texture on this one, actually pretty darn good. I like that. Except for on these, they're almost non-existent. You can kind of see it in the reflection, but it's super smooth. I'm not sure a wash will show up on that at all. This also seems slightly bent, but I could be wrong. Otherwise, though, I just like the fact that it moves. I think that's cool. I dig that. All right. That's it for that one. See, that went quicker when I don't try to struggle through all the little tiny people in the bags. Come on. In you go. In you go. There you are. No. Oh, that's going to be fun to try and put back in the box each time after popping up. There we are. Let's look at some books. Oh, starting with these. I think this will actually open up pretty okay. Here we are. Zoom out again. There you are. So you can see what it is I'm doing. And book 1 and book 2. I love that they're hardcover. You can see that right now. And this just looks cool. I dig this. So this is the cover tray thing. I can't remember. I can't think of names, especially when I'm recording. Anyway, lots of great useful information in here. Nice and laid out by the looks of it, which is kind of cool, especially like the special conditions down here and stuff. If we take a look on the other side, I ain't gonna zoom out that much, but I'll kind of show you. There's a sweet looking dragon fight scene here. These people are going to die. I'm just telling you that right now. You're looking at future dead people as far as I can tell. But very cool scene. Really dig that. That's cool. Okay. Which means that this is then... Oh, look. That's kind of almost another angle of the same scene by the looks of it. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Table of contents. I love the use of color here. I love the blue and kind of the tan orange. Hopefully you can see that okay and it's not super washed out. On my screen it just shows this like kind of a red because it just tells me it's in focus. So yeah, again, just some great kind of campaign stuff here. Lots of information and maps and some images to kind of break it up. And I'm not sure what hexagons have to do with anything, but why not? Some map layouts. That's kind of nice to see. I dig it. This looks like it's actually pretty well done. I am definitely no expert when it comes to tabletop RPGs, but some stuck together. I just got this, I promise. But otherwise, that looks like a very well done thing. I like that. Don't know how much more you need than a table of contents when it comes to stuff like that, but looks very competent as far as I can tell. All right, let's go for a bigger book, the role-playing game. This is the main one here, and what I actually like getting these because I love kind of the coffee table style books, just that you can kind of open and read through, and there's all kinds of information, and I suspect that's what a lot of this is. It's just going to be a ton of information, because we're talking, what is this, 320 pages. So you get to read about pilgrims and villagers and kind of different stuff like that. Even if you're not super into playing the game itself, just reading all the information on a lot of this stuff can be very kind of interesting. A lot of times there'll be a lot of lore stuff too, which I kind of like. This looks, again, I like the tables and I love the colors. There's some variants, it looks like, here and stuff like that. Alignment. Talking about a whole bunch of mounts and vehicles and constitution, saving throws, and aspirations. I aspire to have saving throws. Interacting with objects, make an attack. This actually seems a lot more... here it is. So here's the roll of history. And I don't know. I find this stuff interesting just from a technical standpoint, and believing and practicing in Christian holidays and the impact of plagues, traveling and trading. All that kind of stuff is just kind of very, very cool. And there's so much of it here. Look at all this. This is insane. Relics and rituals. Just tons and tons of stuff here. My goodness. All right. That's his face. All right. That's a big book. Ugh, okay, that's heavy. Last book. Then we're into the kind of the pretty expansions. This is the Compendium. I've been looking forward to this, actually. Let's see here. Let's see if I can not break anything. We'll see. No promises. Maybe if I... Ooh. Okay, that should be good enough, right? Surely. There we go. I got it. Maybe. Perfect. Okay. Here we go. So, got the Compendium. Here you have an art book. You have a painting guide. You have some heraldry, which will be kind of cool to see. Creating your own 3D battlefield. That's always fun. Do no harm. I'm not sure what that is. And then actually a little campaign here too, which is super cool. A little bit of everything, really. So here's just some, information about some people, which is, again, super cool. Dig that. Here's just some of the art, which I saw like bigger versions of some of this in other books. But I like that this is up close. Again, this is another kind of just really useful thing. You put it on a coffee table or in a bookcase in a nerd place or something like that, and you can flip around and see some skeleton dude riding an upside down horse if you want. But, you can look at this and kind of, even if you don't know what it is you're getting into, you're looking at some of the art, which is, again, super cool. It's a very unique, I like the design of their art. It's not something you see in a lot of board games, this style. And then, of course, some information. But then you also get, like, that painting guide. Let's see if I can get to that. It's so cool. All right, come on. Soldier's Tale. And so here's just some... whoa. What's going on here? All right, painting guide. Here we go. So stuff like this is also, I think, kind of cool just to be able to see, because it'll explain a little bit. And you can actually get you can glean some tips and tricks sometimes from doing that. I've been lucky in that. But either way, I like to zoom in on how things are done. It's kind of cool. Got a gallery. Have some painted minis so you can feel bad about yours. That's what I normally do with these. Here's all the heraldry, so you can get there's tons of different ones there. And creating your own 3D battlefield. Again, this is also cool. I think it would be so cool to play on something like that. And then that campaign at the back. I like it. I think that's cool. And what is this? Was not expecting this. Is this a little battle map? Look at this. Look at that. That is cool. I dig that. Stuff it right back in there. Okay, that's it for books. Let's move on to some big box expansions. All right, looks like first up, we're probably actually almost going to go by size here. Here's Ars Nova. It's got a whole bunch of old dudes in robes on that. How exciting is that? Look at that. We got some old dudes in robes. That's my favorite kind of old dude, is the kind that's in a robe. I don't know what that means. All right. Now this, incidentally, is much thinner. This doesn't feel nearly as thick. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so here's this one. And here's this one. I don't know if you can tell the difference. Maybe No, this does seem fair. I'm gonna say maybe I'm making stuff up, and maybe I am. I don't know. Oh my gosh, it doesn't matter if I can't open it. Why would you break? Yeah, see, the other one was definitely not gonna break. This is. Come on now. Oh my gosh, what a disaster. It's because I made fun of it. They called it thin air, so it's just gonna break on me. Oh, really? Alright. Apparently, I can't open this. See? Thicker's better. I was able to open it just fine. Alright. Yeah, try me now. Yeah, this is like sticking to it and everything. Yep. Garbage tier plastic, that's what that is. Nah, it's normal tier. Alright. Yeah, so box-wise, this is super skinny, so it's kind of cheating a little bit, but super sturdy. Really like how, this is like not very flexible at all, which I like. And the glue job here is actually really, really well done. Like, it's like solid, tiny bit of a lip where it meets in the corner, and then solid again. I'm not seeing any bubbles, or nothing's going to catch, or nothing's going to gather dust. Very tightly wrapped around, and just in general, very good. Yeah, I liked it a lot as well. You even get like a kind of a nice little tapering on the edge too, which is nice to see. Very well done. Okay, I got some reading material here for your setup of, looks like 2 missions. Count that right? 1. Skip a few. My goodness. Oh, there's French. Okay. And then, is this all French? I can't read that junk. All right. Here we go. So, 1, and a whole bunch of rules here. My goodness. And then 2. So, yeah, 2 rules there. Again, you get everything in English and French, so only half of this is useful to you. Maybe you read both, and you're just like, I like reading 1 in English and 1 in French, because I can. Maybe I would too if I could. Okay, and then, again, that's in French. Let's see something I can read. Here we go. So we got our priority intrigue cards. Interesting that instead of getting, they're printed out cards like this. Like, why? Hopefully these are physical somewhere. I don't want a picture of cards. Give me real cards. This is kind of weird. I don't know. We'll see about that. I'm a little sketchy on that. Okay, so cardboard-wise, these should be quite good. And, yep, not disappointed at all. The one thing that you will notice, I'll go and punch these building ones out as well, is the tags. You are going to have tags. These are definitely taggy. Like, this is quite the rich tag. But they feel great. They have a nice density to them. You don't feel like you're squishing them down. They're pretty well glued together. Smooth edges besides the big tags, which I'm happy I don't see like any fraying or anything. A slight tapering on the top. They seem nice, and again, they're not like bending everywhere, all crazy or anything like that. So let's actually stay slightly organized. I know, you have to tell me. And the art, of course, looks good. I like how different this is. Just from the art style of things, when it comes to having a whole bunch of like little paths and stuff like that versus just fields or plain cobblestone city. I think this is actually designed a little bit cooler. Wow, this is not going back in the same as it. It probably fits like one way or some garbage like that. Fine. I tried. Moving on from that. Okay, we got little tokens down here. I'll punch a couple out for you. This is kind of fun. Those punch out very well. So if I just do it a little bit, you'll see where the tag is. Right there. You get little dingleberry token things. Ooh, skulls. That's fun. But they come out very nice. And again, just minimal tag stuff there. Actually, see, these fit in nice. I like that. I probably just messed up on the other one. Okay, you get a lot of tokens though. Like I'm surprised in this small thing is how much you're getting. Those are cool. I dig that. All right, and this is not cool. What I don't like about this is just how much space you're wasting on my shelf and how much space you're wasting that in the box that I had to pay for shipping. When backers have to pay for shipping, we don't want really big boxes that are made to look bigger as an expansion than they are. If you could have fit it in something smaller, then that would have been great. I would, and you didn't have to have it this size, right? You could have printed this. It looks like this probably your minimum is this big, right? Which is definitely smaller. And then otherwise you could have, I don't know. There's just ways you could have done it. I do appreciate the extra bags though. This is fun. I like this. It looks quite well done actually. It's got a nice texture on either side. It looks fairly clean, not too scuffed up. I mean, maybe a little bit, but you're fine. An interesting color choice, by the way, of sand there. You got the robe guys. Take a quick look at them. Not really the minis. I'm more interested in seeing if I get those cards or if they're just printed on some paper there, which is again very weird. Zoom in a little bit. There you go. Zoom in even more. These are tiny guys. All right. Yeah. Again, I mean, the detail's always pretty great, especially for the size. Texture on this rope belt thing that he has here is good. The ridges on the robe are good. This is actually fairly straight. Looks like a little bendy there. Fingers are pretty decent. There's a little bit of a mold line here where the wrist makes his arm look a little bit fatter, but otherwise pretty good. Yeah. Expected no less. Always good. Okay, so we got some little cards here. I'm not too concerned about those. I want to see if we get those big cards. And we get two different packs here. This is, oh, okay, this is just a smaller one, so we don't care about that. Let's open this. Thank you for the easy open. Here it is. Casing to this. I do appreciate that. As you can see, I struggle a lot with this kind of stuff, so any help I can get is greatly appreciated. So that's nice. All right, let's see. I think that's them. So this might just be a reference. That's what I'm trying to see. Is like, is this a reference? Just need to find like a match. So let's see. Chapter Hall Reunion. There you go. They're right there. So that's fine. All's forgiven. Very, kind of dark. He very much looks like a, oh, I can't even think of his name now. He was Bond. Sean Connery. It looks like Sean Connery. There's the kind of the back of him. Cool looking back. Yeah, I mean, again, as you can tell, this is much different than what you're used to seeing. And in my review of Joan of Arc, I kind of mentioned that how it can feel very much like a skirmish kind of game, which is great. I love skirmish games. It can feel very much like a board game with kind of objectives and events and missions. And I mean, like this is not skirmish stuff here, right? So that's kind of cool. I like that. I don't like how big this box is. It's so unfortunate. Like, I actively dislike how big this box is. There's no reason for it to be that big. You could have stored it in a different, smarter way, where you weren't having to take up more shelf space than you need and make it seem bigger. I get it. There's a lot of perceived value in size and weight too, typically, and that's why we weigh down expensive gadgets that would be too light otherwise and stuff like that. Like, I get it, but in the grand scheme of things, this is already fairly skinny. It's just you could have made it like that, and I think maybe probably didn't even increase the height of it at all. So there is that. All right, moving on from that. Oh man, see, look what I've done. I left this out. Oh, it's gonna be a mess anyway. Zoom out. Whoop, there we are. Legendary battles. That's what's next. Ugh. Hopefully this isn't like that much spacing, right? All right. Hopefully this is actually filled. It's quite heavy, so this one I suspect is probably like that. All right, come on. We got a corner. camera. All right. It's kind of interesting that the nicer boxes have the cheaper wrapping on it. Okay. And again, on the back, same as always, just kind of our blurb and text. I'm just going to take a quick glance, but everything seems fine with how good the other ones are. I suspect these are going to be good. And look, an ugly box inside. I'm totally fine with an ugly box inside. Move this up a little bit. I suspect that these are minis. Now, these are very colorful bases. So here are your colored key rings. You get plenty more of those. That's fine. Keep them coming. Odd that they would be in a box. Okay, here's some extra bases. Yeah, let's just keep it coming. Come on. What else you got? You got little tiny ones. Come on. And some more of that. And that is it. We got an empty box now. So, I mean, this is great. What is kind of a bummer is that, again, in the review I mentioned this, but you don't get enough in the base game. So if you didn't purchase this, you're not going to have enough. Kind of sucks. But now I have enough. Like the colors, by the way. As somebody who's mildly colorblind, it's just good to see some good contrast there. Sometimes people love to have a dark purple and a blue, and at that point I just give up. Or like a very light orange and a yellow. Very odd this is in a box here. This seems, because they work in the bag. But when they're loose, like you couldn't put them loose in here. So you're gonna have to find out some other way to, I don't know. Storage in JOA was already a problem, and I can already tell now it's just gonna get worse, not better. Because, yeah, that works when you ship it in bags, but afterwards, unless I put it in bags, I guess, that's gonna be a little silly. Right there. Got some cubes. I unboxed that last time. By the way, link in the description below to my first unboxing if you care, I guess. And let's start with this little thing, because this one's fun. It's like a little tiny box. Oh, look at that, some horsies. Okay. So these are still looking fairly straight, a little bent. And they're not glued to the ear, which is actually something I'm kind of surprised on. But detail-wise, I think they look pretty darn good. And again, always impressed with the skill of it. Now, I will say there's... zoom in a little bit here for you. There's kind of an oddity here, in that I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. I don't know if it's dust he's kicking up or what. It would seem kind of weird otherwise. I suspect that might be dust or something, but it seems kind of odd. Anyway, they get their own little storage tray here, just for funsies. Got another one here. Okay. Does it bother anybody else that this is not centered? Look how much space is here compared to here. That's weird. I don't know what's going on there. Bothers me though. Like you can't unsee it. Alright, more minis. You got tons of bags of minis in here. With no tray to store them in. Again, this is where the storage comes. It kind of starts to struggle a little bit. Looks like they're your typical man-at-arms and whatnot. These are not new at all. These are the bowmen, the peasants. Yeah, these are the crossbowmen. These are repeats, just more of them. And then this guy I do not recognize, so I think he's probably new. I do like him. I think he's kind of cool. The one thing I don't like, make sure I'm kind of zoomed in here, is the space in between the arm and the chest. I would have liked him leaning forward a little bit more if it meant that you didn't have this awkward kind of filler gap here, because you can have the negative space there. Kind of my only complaint there. That's pretty drastic. Cool pose, though. I like the sword. Again, they're all chunkier. See, I'm not even going to be able to fit this back in the same way. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, I'm going to try and feed this in. Fold this way down. Let's see. You can see my struggle. And this is what I'm talking about with like storage. Okay. Unless you're going to find it. Oh. And then maybe I can just cram them in this way. Get in there. Come on. Don't break. And I think maybe I can. Oh, maybe I can't. Get in there. There we go. All right. Suck it in. All right. Look at that. There you go. Just do that every time. You're fine. Oh, this is actually kind of heavy. I think there's more than just minis in here. I can tell you that much. Aha, cards. I knew there was something here. I was like, what the heck? Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I thought was weird. I said this earlier. Normally, you get this little divot underneath with the to put the cards in. And this one, it looks like that fits quite nice. There's still some space here. So if you, I don't know if you sleeve it. Probably if you just sleeve your language, you'll probably be okay. But either way, the lip here means that if it's really flush, you end up having cards sliding around. So, and none of these have lids. So, trees, we've seen trees before. I unboxed trees earlier. I'm very happy to have more because again, you didn't have enough trees to mark each spot in the core game. Barricades, also seen these. These are new though, these walls. I quite like it. I like the kind of randomness of it and the fact that it doesn't look like it's copy pasted anywhere. I don't really see, these all look, hand done. Love the bindings and then of course the very textured cobblestone. This will look magnificent once, kind of painted up. But even still, like just kind of the fact that they use the different colors, I really like. I like that that's green and brown. Like that's cool. I dig it. But then they didn't for these. But whatever. Okay, I like that. I think that's really it. Let's see. We got in here. We have the legendary battles, all the different missions in there. Look at that. Looks cool. And then the cardboard. All the way in the bottom. Some decent amount. Looks like some fun stuff. It's kind of interesting. I think, does this increase the player count? It must, to 4. Kind of cool. I forget. It's been so long. Again, I've seen, I would know the 1.5 more than the 1.0 at this point, but for whatever reason, didn't get mine until way late, so. I think last I had heard it was like stuck in China or some junk. Where does this go to? Is this in somewhere else? I don't know. Where could that even fit? Not in there. Oh, I know. So this went like this. I got it, guys. Stop yelling at me in the comments. This went like this. I figured out the puzzle. That went like that. That went like that. This awkward box of bagged items goes there. And this goes on top. Ta-da! Like that. Next up. Village Pack. Again, you guys have seen the backs of these enough to know that there was going to be an image on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side is going to be kind of a wall of text. Tell me about it. But otherwise, you get a little bit of imagery here, and that's about it. Now, one thing I will say is I actually like how much the titles, the Joan of Arc. Let me turn this. Oh, can I see it? And then the Time of Legend here. I like how well that blends in with the graphic design of the box art. I don't think that's something I ever really mentioned, but I do like that. Okay. This should be fun. I've been looking forward to this one just because I think my wife will also get a kick out of it just because of, like the miniatures that come in here. Just kind of fun in my mind. And not everything's, the devil crushing a church. Though if you want some of that, you got some of that. All right, and squeaky, but done. Cool. As you can see, we're getting bigger and bigger, larger and larger. These are loose. Why are they loose? Give me a place for them. Oh, well, let's open the big one. Why not? Go big or go home. This is fun. Oh, come on. Gently. Look at that. That's so cool. I love that. I love how it's all to scale. Love the texture in here. I think I commented on this last time too, but I love how each shingle, none of it looks copy pasted. You know, there's a little stumpy one here. There's a different kind of stumpy one there. It all looks like it's done by hand, which I really like. This looks good too. And again, I'm not really seeing copying and paste. This looks much denser than this. Kind of interesting, but everything has good texture. This will look, again, it'll look awesome. Love this. This was done in ABS. You can tell by how shiny it is. Does it spin? No, it does not. Just FYI. It would have been cool if it did, though. I like it. It looks good. A very hefty piece, too. It definitely feels nice. Alright, shove that back in there. Try and pretend like I know how this goes back in. There we go. I'm gonna assume it went like that. Next up, much lighter. Much lighter. Huge, but much lighter. Because... Okay, really? Really? Look at that wasted space. Why? That's just silly. I mean, I get you're trying to make it level. It just seems really goofy to me. That and this is just kind of wonky. I would have rather have had this been a normal tray and then just had a normal, like, a spacer. An empty box would have been actually okay. Because this is just kind of funny. But we got a few repeats here. Like, you got the blacksmith here, and I think that's like the villager girl or whatever. You got some dogs, you got some sheep, you got some horsies, you got some bulls. I'm gonna take a look at the sheep here, and oh no, I mean, is that a sheep? How tall are these people? Sheep are not that tall, or they don't go up to your chest. I feel like the scale's a little off here. Either that or I'm looking at something different. So I like the texture. Very good texture here, actually. Let me go ahead and again zoom in so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. However, again, this is completely solid in between on both sides, and it just makes me a little sad. Because otherwise, I really like the mini, but that definitely looks kind of poopy. Meanwhile, when we get bigger, we do start getting that space in between, which is quite nice. Good kind of simple definition on the body. Face seems good. It got the ridges, got the ears and horns. You can tell them all apart. Interesting point here, though. This horse is not nearly as detailed as the horses on the units themselves. A little bit of an assembly issue where they didn't push them in all the way there. But just kind of in general here, this is way smooth. This is way smooth, and the body is not nearly as defined. I might keep him out just to show you later on what I'm talking about. And a mold line right across the face. Kind of sad that they're just not quite the same detail. Looking at the dog here, very tiny head. A little bit of a connection here. It's kind of unfortunate. Would have liked to have seen that gone. Same here, but it's less noticeable because of the tail. All right, let's put this giant. This is just awkward. Well, I guess I know where I can put all the bases and stuff, right? We got a whole bunch of storage now. All right, we got 2 trays in here. Going and start with this one. Looking quite heavy. I'm suspecting cards. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a whole bunch of... These trees actually weigh quite a bit. So this time we got it some more bushes. And we have tents. And that's fun. First of all, they're great finger cappers. No, they look cool. I like the dual layer here. I like the stitching. Very well done. Very good detail. I like the kind of, I don't know, not ribbon, ridge, whatever this is on this. That was cool as well. And they seem to actually not, I mean, I don't know, maybe they are. If you were to paint this seems, so this is kind of how they're stored. And if you were to paint this, I feel like that'd be too much rubbing against one another. How I feel anyway. I think I might transform a different way, or maybe not, maybe just quadruple varnish them or something. I don't know. Something. Okay, see, I hate these style boxes because this lip always goes up. You have to like fold it down, and I don't know. Maybe just struggle too much. The reason I'm not really looking at the trees is because you guys have probably already, if you haven't, you're free to, watched my already long unboxing of Wave 1. This is a truly, truly massive and huge game. And it's a lot of fun too. Speaking of a lot of fun, this is cool. I like it. Love the ruins. That's cool. That looks nice. Looks real nice. Okay, we got a building here. Again, a different style. I love the area in the back. That's kind of nice. This is all hollow. That's fine. Several different doors, a little window kind of area here. A different style roof, which I like. Really appreciate the chimney, especially with a little kind of decoration on there. That'll be nice. Again, even like the wood cutting block in the back. Very, very nice attention to detail. Just quite nice in general. Okay, then we got another 2-story house. This looks to be the same as you got in Wave 1. What you didn't get in Wave 1 is this kind of big old bridge. And in fact, look at that. You got 2 different styles. You got 2 of these and 1 of these. And again, super nice. I actually really, really like these. Like a lot. Like these are cool. Great texture all throughout. It'll take a wash, great. It'll take a dry brush, great. Look at that. Look at this. They even sculpted the bottom. There's almost no reason to do this part right here. You're never really going to see it. Nice little attention to detail. Same with here. The bottom sides of the wood are textured. Didn't necessarily need to be, but I certainly appreciate it. Okay, this is look cool. And it looks like over here we have that's a nice lid. I like how it's just kind of slots on there. That is nice. So it's just this little lid here. Very nice hard plastic. That just kind of perfectly forms in there. Barely any lip. I like it. We got rocks. I like the rocks. We got fire. I love the fireplace touch. That's kind of cool. Be great little OSL stuff too. And then we have more walls. This is the same as you got in the core box. Love the lid, by the way. Very nice to have. It's gonna it keeps it all nice and organized, and it's kind of nice, I guess. All right, come on. Fold that down, and then very quickly, come on. There we go. And see, the more I do that, see, it's already. I hate these boxes. Hate them. Alright, hopefully that works. I don't know why that's not closing. In here, zooming out. Got some more bags. I always appreciate the bags. Your this is the French version. It is, go figure. Anyway, you got some missions here, and then a whole bunch of tiles and whatnot. Very fun. Alright, let's see if I can put this back together. Nope. Let's see what's gonna be the pressure. Why is this not... I don't know why this isn't sticking in all the way. I suspect it's the lid. In which case I don't like the lid as much. Because that's right where the lid is. So let me see if I can't... push that all the way in. Then, see, yeah, it's the lid. Come on. Let's see, this is all getting scuffed up here. Really? Okay, let's... The reason I'm still recording is just so you can kind of see this kind of stuff that actually happens with this. So it seems pretty level, but I think it's hitting right here and then popping up. I might just actually have to take the lid off if it's not going to cooperate. Yeah, it doesn't like it. Alright, so let's try taking the lid off. See if that helps out. Hopefully it does. At this point, I've banged it up so much. Yeah, see? It's that lid. Alright, never mind. I take what I said back about the lid. Ideally, once you actually get the lid and you try it, you would see stuff like this internally. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's kind of dumb. Yes, it goes like that. And then you have some Lucy cards. I did keep the Horse Iii, by the way. We will compare. Maybe. I'll have to go back and I think get a comparison one. If not, at the end, when I show you a lot of these miniatures close up, I'll be sure to put him next to another one. This, I guess I could just use as, hey, look at what's a good idea on paper. All right. So, next up I have Apocalypse. However, because I know there's a miniature in here I've been really wanting to see, I'm actually going to wait and do Siege first. Which is technically bigger. Oh, it's huge. Like, massive. Oh my goodness. Alright. Wow, wow, wow. I think I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit more here. Okay. This is a big box. Let's see what I can do here. My goodness. I think we're going to start over here in this corner. Try our luck. Okay, so there's... And hopefully this can continue. There we go. That's promising. Oh, it's so heavy. Oh, it's so big. There we are. And... Come on. Don't be like that. There. All right, I got it now, I'm sure. Oof. There we go. Okay. Okay. Wow. Oh, that's heavy. Okay. Avoid the microphone there. Oh, got it anyway. Whew. All right. First up, this big old tray. All right. Come on. Wow, that is heavy. All right. Here, wow, that is really, I didn't realize how thick they were. That's pretty cool. So here is the outside where you just have more pointy. You have the little slots here, which are kind of nice to include. I'm going to go and zoom in a little bit, but these are some big pieces. There we go. All right, so we got the slots here. We have the ridges here. I don't recall the names for all of these, but I like the wood texture here, the little door here where you'd be able to come in and out of. That's cool to see. Looks like these are all the same pieces here. Yes. And so again, that's the outside and inside, which I like to see. I think it's kind of cool. And he goes there. Then we have a single tower here. And not really seeing exactly how that would attach yet anyway. Don't know if it would be like this, or I don't know if it's I'm not sure. Maybe they don't even attach together. Anyway, texture on here is good. Texture inside of here is not good. That's actually kind of unfortunate. So right here, it's just really smooth. There's barely any any ridge there. Like, it'll kind of mildly show up. Here, it's just okay. Like, this is great. This is great. This is great. This is great. This is This is as my kind of, I think, professional rating is all hollow, though, which is kind of fun, I suppose. Moving on. Put that there. Go to this last piece here. Now, see here, I can tell where the wall would obviously land, and then you have the door into the tower. Yeah, this is cool. So I for the most part, this is okay. I know technically there would be like a little area where you'd have two different walls, right? Or maybe that's the inside here. Ah, yeah, see? So here there's a regular door, and then here there's the gate. It's because inside you actually have to go through, and there's slots inside. You could like murderize people trying to break through the gate there. Additionally, you have these outcroppings here you get to. Looking at these, they're very, very smooth here. And then they kind of have a hint of a texture. Like, I don't even know what's going on here. Is there supposed to be texture here? I don't know. Can I zoom in a little bit more? Can I show you what I'm talking about? All right, so hopefully you can see that. But right here, like I think there was supposed to be some texture here, and then they just forgot how to do it. Same here. Is there supposed to be texture in here? Because this is completely smooth. Are they both like this? Yes. So what is this supposed to be? I don't know. You tell me. There's like a little divot here, and then nothing. Is this supposed to be just damage like this? So ideally you have these so that you can shoot sideways, right? Like ideally there should be holes here, I would think. I mean, again, maybe I'm just an idiot, but that's probably actually the case. But either way, it seems odd to me. It doesn't make sense to me. And either way, I think the texture there's like kind of at best. Does this go this way? No, it goes that way. But maybe it goes like that. Haha! Figured it out. All right, I'm not gonna. Oh, it's so heavy. I'm not gonna bother putting it back in the box yet. We'll just put it on top of the box because there are two more. Let's go smaller and then larger. Actually, we'll go in order. Look at that, because this is 2. We did 3. Okay. Moving this aside. Here we go. Zoom out again. Let's see what the heck I'm doing. And some more. So we got some cards here. Okay. Looks like some more walls. Though these seem shorter, but perhaps everything just seems smaller in comparison at this point. Zoom back in. Focus. Alright, so this is obviously a lot of fun. This is just kind of cool. Great texture all the way around on this. I like that. This, however, is completely smooth. I don't know what texture is supposed to be. And maybe this is supposed to be open. Maybe this is open in the background, so you just paint it like black. I'm not sure, but it's super smooth. Even underneath here, there's texture, so that's nice to see. Yeah, this looks great. I like this. This is quite secure. It is an extra piece that they glued on, but it looks like they did a good job on it. Let's see if it's wobbly. It is wobbly. So this right here definitely has a little bit of a wobble. I mean, it's like you're really rolling these things. I get that, but it would have been nice not to wobble still. And then you have this kind of really fun looking... Oh, it is angled. That's weird. Fun little change portion of it. So you got some actual... a roof here. You have some nice windows here. You have this little box. I mean, that's where they go to the bathroom. You kind of have this whole kind of little balcony area here, which is kind of cool. Some more windows here. And again, it'd be great to shoot dudes through there or something like that on either side, I suppose. This is probably the inside here, so it'd be like this, right? Because this is how you'd kind of enter And this is the outside. I would assume. Maybe not. Maybe it's all inside. Maybe it's like this. I don't know. I'm no expert. I'm just a guy. Speaking of roofs, these are fun. I don't know if you can spin it like a top or not. Not really. Doesn't work. Yeah, this is actually a fairly good thickness. I like it. Not too skinny, not too thin, but not too thick either. Pretty good texture all the way around in here. I like that. It'll look cool. I especially like the ridges. The lines here are nice. Oh, they do. Oh, look at that. That's fun. So they do totally spin on each other, though. That's fun. Putting him back. Trying to figure out how this one. I think like this. I think. Haha! I'm a genius. Last. No. I lied. There's at least one more after this. Oh, it never ends. Okay, here we just have more siege equipment. This looks to be the exact same thing as the siege equipment. It is laid out differently, though, which is kind of interesting. This guy's different. I don't know why they decided to lay one out differently than the other, but whatever. There we are. I don't know if you noticed or not, but this second package, no, I haven't gone to the Apocalypse set, I know that, it's a lot more historical and a lot less mythical. There's not a whole lot of like, sorry about that, demons or anything like that running around. Alright, this is another heavy one. Oh, that's heavy. This looks cool. I really like the broken walls. Very nice to add those. I think that'll add a lot to the game. Just when it comes to like when you actually break it. Oh man, how did this? Okay, hold on. I gotta be smarter than it. Okay, so it's kind of like that, sort of. And then, aha, got it. Then we have a whole bunch of these. Aha, so here's the curved part that would go around and then to straight. Love the slats here. That's very nice. It's a nice touch. Looks good. And the archways are cool. I like that it's all stone on the other side. So it's like this cobblestone that you see through here. And then it's this kind of fine grain stone here. A different kind here, different kind here. Very, very nice. Very cool. I like that. Those are cool. And you get a whole bunch of those. Alright, that is it for Siege. There's just a few more things in the box. And that's, tiles and whatnot. Just kind of your normal stuff. So I'm going to move this aside and we'll get to the last box. Now at this point, I will have unboxed every single thing for Joan of Arc 1.0. I believe so, that I'm aware of. It's certainly a lot. And this is really what I've been looking forward to the most because of this guy. I think he looks super cool. So, and there's just a lot of fantastical stuff going on in this box. Definitely, it has a higher cool factor for me. Like I said, the other stuff is neat and it's got all that like historical significance, but at the end of the day, I also just want to paint really cool stuff and play with really cool stuff and kind of not really repeat history, but escape into kind of this surreal world. And Joan of Arc does a really good job, I think, with that. And to various levels too, which is also kind of nice. And again, opening these has not gone well today. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I've struggled a little bit. Here, I thought I was getting pretty good at this. I've done enough of these. Come on. Next time, you guys should really do like a good drinking game. Like, take a shot every time I struggle. You'll just be so drunk by the end of the video that you'll listen to anything I say. So when I say, give the video a like and subscribe, you're like, okay, sounds like a great idea. I'll listen to everything you say. I don't know if that would actually happen. But I do think you'd probably get drunk. Because I'm still trying to just take the wrapping off of this. But you know what? I've conquered it. And that's what counts. There we are. Okay. We are finally getting into it. Okay. Here we go. There we are. All right. Oh, big box. Is this all one box? This is a box in a box. It is a box in a box. So the only things here are just the kind of the campaign book, and come on now, really, and then some tiles and stuff, and that's it. Everything else is just in this box, which is kind of funny. Oh, come on. Okay, there's part of it, I guess. Okay, that's a very weird way to package all this. It's just odd. And sadly, I got a crushed box here. Hopefully the minis are okay, but that's definitely all jinkified. I guess we'll look at the big stuff later. So let's go ahead and start with this. And again, this is super jank. I do appreciate not putting glue on your lids. Thank you. It's not like the lids are going to come off in the box or something weird like that. And let's look at some apocalyptic stuff here. I think this one's Judgment. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. All right. So now that we're zoomed in, I believe this is Judgment. Again, great detail on the horse, especially the face, the sculpted eyeballs, nostril. The sweeping hair looks very, very nice. The dead snake is a nice touch that I'd never actually noticed. The skulls seem okay. I guess my issue with them is they seem very lined up. First of all, they're all upright. And they just, I don't know. They're very purposely put there. And I think that's okay for this miniature, but it's kind of an odd choice. So you have all this blank space, and then and then something here. I like him kind of literally being on top. That's kind of nice. Snake is upside down, which is good. And you don't really see the upside down portion of a snake, which is kind of cool. I never really noticed the crown here. That's kind of neat. That being said, the crown is not the best sculpt I've seen. There is also a mold line going across the ridge. That's kind of to be expected here. But this crown, especially on this side of it, looks just blah to me. Not happy with that crown. Assembly on here is actually fairly good. Again, it's what I'd kind of expect. Not too bad at all. Also, the inside of this hair, this mane, is completely smooth here. You see that? There's no texture at all there. Ideally, there'd still be some texture there so it looks like hair. Yeah, so this one's hit or miss. Moving on to the normal kind of sized people here. I really like the kind of face mask thing here. I do not like this guy's face. It just seems kind of muddy. And then there's a mold line there too. But otherwise, this is great. I love the cape here. I love pretty much everything about this horse guy. And even like this banner waving here looks cool. That one's alright. I can figure out how to put him back in. That's never going to happen, is it? There's no real good answer for that. Alright. Moving on, we got this Undead Dude. Again, super cool looking. I love how he's holding the ropes. It's a very weird way to hold it, which I think is a smart move. Love the kind of kooky hat, especially the bend at the top. This is kind of cool symbology here, though it looks like it needs to be straightened a little bit kind of in general. I like the kind of, it looks like family versus death or life and death, which is kind of cool. Great stitching here, fantastic stitching here. Great texture on the skin. The kind of skull bell actually looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I like this mini. And this one's cool. There is some negative space filling here. Would have been nice to make this just look like his side or something like that. I think it would have worked fine, as opposed to leaving it smooth. Okay, next up we have this. And again, this is just not your normal stuff where it's just like fiery going upside down out of this kind of billowy cloud. But I do kind of dig the cloud thing and all that. It just looks cool. Additionally, it's not centered. It's going this way. The sword here is bent. I'll have to bend that back. But otherwise, again, I think this is looking quite good. I like the little angel here. I'd never noticed that floating off to one side. Very, very nice. What just a dynamic piece. Just very cool. This looks kind of goofy, but I think it makes sense and it works. This just maybe seems like too much of a pillar, as opposed to haphazardly. Looks too purposeful. All right, this guy's cool. I love how he's riding on top of the guy. I think that's fun. Great feet detail here. Great detail on the skin of the horse. Love the horns. I think those horns are super cool. Great rope. This rope is better than the ABS ropes I saw before. Even these are. These are really, really nice. Big, thick chain link will work wonders here. Even the shields here are kind of cool. I love the fire. The swirly tail. This is awesome. I actually really like. Looks like somebody twisted it, which is just cool. I love that tail. I didn't even notice that before. That's cool. I like that. All right, moving on. We got the Archery Guy. Again, his face is awesome. The cape outflowing, because these are like the best stuff here. That face, it's like some weird alligator gar anteater devil thing, is cool. Snakes instead of a tail. That's disgusting. It's like coming out of his butt. There's some gross texture underneath here. Very cool attention to detail. Something where when somebody picks it up, they're like, oh wow, that's gross, because they're going to look under there. In fact, it's the whole way. All of this is it's sculpted. Very nice. I like that one. All right, here's the Undead Horse. This is just so much fun. The mouth on here is disgusting. Mouth open here is just crazy. I love that he's based on his cape here. That's how he's attached. I dig that his robe. He's got obviously the time will get us all. They're quite thick and chunky, not my favorite, but otherwise they're okay. I really like the overall design of him floating on an upside down dead horse. That's just cool. All right, and then here, I want to say this is the Antichrist. I can't quite remember. I don't know what these symbols are, what's going on there, but that's a cool attention to detail. I see there's a head here, and there's what looks like a body here. So this is definitely, here's another person here. Never noticed these before. That's just super cool looking. There's another face here. That is cool. I like that a lot. I don't know what kind of satanic symbol he's probably doing there, but whatever. It seems to be bent. Oh, that bends easy. That being said, super cool. I love the mane here and how free-flowing this is, and how this is kind of dragged a little bit, like he's pulling out his arm just to do this. Very cool mini. They're one done. Next up, see if I can even take the lid off like this. My goodness. Hopefully the minis are okay. Looks like they probably are. But let's go in and take that one. We'll see. Here's the angel. Fantastic texture on the feathers. I'm happy about it. Same with the rock. The crack here on the rock is awesome. Very cool. Yeah, this just looks great. I love the four wings. I love that they did that. Super nice. We got this one on top of the kind of a ram head thing. That's super cool looking. Again, love the wings, especially how they're look at how curled they are and outward they are compared to this. Do you see the difference? Like that's cool. It's almost like when he's yelling like this, they're like quivering or something crazy like that. How he's holding the sword back is also super cool. Hopefully he doesn't have any feeling in his wings. He might poke himself. And a great cape. I like this one a lot. Again, tiny base. He's like barely even on the base. He's coming off the base. Super great texture there. Do you hear that on the chainmail? That's fantastic. Super creepy undead head there. All right, got a few more here. Just a few. Got the witch riding the broom here. That's kind of cool. I dig that. A little bit of a negative space issue here. But otherwise, facial details are fantastic. Same with like even fingers. Look how tiny that is. Itty bitty. Oh, geez. Like we're okay. Here, I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Okay, got these guys. Again, the ribbon coming out towards him is awesome. Let's see the fact that he's leaning, like he's all skeleton, leaning past the dead rider. What a cool sculpt. That's an interesting setup. That's neat. I should really like that one. The sculpt design wise, that's fantastic. Here you have kind of mini versions of the same thing with the fire and the cloud, the trumpeters, the heralders. That's cool. And here you have very thick swords here, but you have this fire horse undead thing coming out, which just again looks super cool. And then the arc itself is actually pretty big. I didn't realize it was so big. Like compared to the guys, like that's huge. Yeah, and of course it looks great. Okay. We are on to the last little bit here. So we have this lid here. Pop that off. That snaps in. And we have some bases and we have some, demons and whatnot. I'm actually not going to open the demons and angels and stuff, but just know that there's obviously both. It just looks like maybe some eagles taking over something or something gross happening over there. Really though, got some cards. What we want to see is this guy. Oh, the next big guy. Wow. All right, let me zoom out a little bit. He is heavy. Like he is legitimately heavy. That looks great. That came out so cool. Wow, I dig that a lot. Love that this paw's up. Look how deep that goes. The texture on here is fantastic. The face here is creepy. The assembly job is adequate. This is not slack jawed or anything. Love the teeth that were sculpted here. Obviously the fire here. A little bit of a sculpt issue here. I'd have to gap fill that. But honestly, it doesn't like there's a whole bunch. Most of it's pretty hidden. A little bit of smoothness here. And look at that texture. Look at those plates. Oh, so cool. I love how much of this is texture too. We'll have to fill in the rest, but that ought to be kind of fun. Underside looks good. All of these turned out great. Teeth look good there. Mouths look good, though I don't see any tongues. Inside looks fairly plain, but otherwise looks great. Okay, that is it. That's all of Joan of Arc. I'm going to go ahead and put some of these on the turntable to show you guys, and I'll say my final thoughts there. All right, so here's some of the guys. Again, I'm going to show you quite a few of the miniatures. Not quite all of them, but certainly enough. I'd like you to pay special attention to the horses here, because I think not only are a lot of them actually pretty good, but just because of that one that, again, I'll show you side by side, but it isn't quite as good. Man, look at the wing shield, though. I am so impressed at this tiny, tiny scale, just how good they can get. You can see a little bit of wobbliness on the base there, but very little. And that's actually, I think, the only one I had actually noticed when I was placing them down here. I'm watching this live, so I'll see it with you guys and kind of talk about it. But otherwise, again, these would actually paint up quite well. I've seen people paint these up, and they do a great job. I get frustrated with like little fiddly bits, and so when they're tiny like this, it's just not very enjoyable for me. And I actually don't paint to have a painted set of miniatures. I could care less about that. I'm fine painting with gray or half painted. I mean, it'd be great to play with a full painted set, but I paint because I really enjoy it. I find it really relaxing and rewarding to do. And so if it's not something that I would enjoy the process of doing as much, then, and not that I would hate this, I would just like to paint larger scale stuff more. So some of the monsters, though, I really want to paint some of these. You'll see some of those soon. But anyway, yeah, these some bent parts, that's fine if they're not using ABS. Again, these are small. They'll bend back. I've never really had a huge problem with bending unless it's really bad and it doesn't fix itself with some hot water. And now a wall. There are some miniatures behind it, but I thought that was actually kind of a cool thing to do, so I kept it in the shot. And I wanted to kind of put it behind the wall just so you could see. And really, I mean, unless I put so I was going to put the wall in the middle, but I don't know, then and you can't see it. I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, so there's some old robed dudes, being robed dudes. Again, a little bit of bendiness there on some of the longer parts, but it should fix up fine. And really, at the scale, it doesn't actually matter as much. Mold lines are, average to good, actually. They're not terrible. I've seen way worse than that. There's a rocking horse there. It's stuff like that. I can tell the base is a little bit wobbly. For the most part, it spins fine, but every now and then it doesn't. The poses, though, on them, I really like that charging horse. Really good pose. I really dig that. And again, I think the wall looks good too. I think the height of the pointiness, it doesn't look super copy pasted or anything like that. Same with the rocks. When it's something repeated like that, a lot of times they'll make like 5 posts and then just copy paste it over and over again. So I'm glad that looks random enough to where I can't tell any copy pasting going on, which is pretty much ideal. In fact, there might not be any that I'm aware of. All right, next up we have another horse. Now, if you notice, the Bowman is repeat because I wanted to see the 2 horses together. Also, you'll notice there are 2 different color plastics. I don't know why this is always the case. And I don't know why they pick one over the other. I'm assuming they're actually different plastic mixes. That being said, I couldn't really tell you which one's better. I'm assuming that the lighter gray one is maybe slightly softer, because it's normally like the big terrain and stuff like that. And so it's just not quite those crisp details. Notice her face is actually quite sculpted, and she, for the most part, has her fingers. The one on her skirt, maybe not quite all of them. And then as you can see, between the sheep and the dog, they have that little solid part. Super unfortunate and kind of sad about that. I guess you would paint, I don't know what you'd even paint that. I would honestly cut it out if it was me. But yeah, those horses, you see there's much more detail on the Bowman horse than on the horse here, both in the hair and in the muscle definition. I'll actually let it go by one more time so that we're all thinking about it, but you'll see the smoothness of the horse there in both its tail, its hair on its neck, and its body definition. And then the one where the guy is riding it, the actual unit, and not just the decoration, has much better or more detailed horse. I don't know why. I don't know what it would have cost them to make the horse have more detail. It seems kind of odd to me, I guess. Looks to be the same plastic. I guess maybe it takes slightly less time to sculpt, but you could have just taken one of these horses and reposed it for all I care. I don't know. It seems kind of odd. You can see the face is less detailed. The ears are. It's just a worse miniature. Kind of an odd choice. And otherwise, all these minis are really, really good. So for those few kind of minor things like that, it's like, I don't know why they didn't want good horses there, but I guess they didn't. All right, here is some more of the village pack here. So here's a kind of a watermill house and some bridges. I really like the bridges. As I said, you see how you can see in there underneath the bridge there, and it's actually textured. That is a great attention to detail. That's what surprised me. They do that on a bridge, but then the horse doesn't get muscle definition. It's like, really? I love that because it's arched enough where you can see in there, right? You can see that. And so they textured it. I thought that's awesome. That house is great, of course. I love that's not the watermill one. That's a different one. In this one, I actually don't recall if the underside is sculpted up. It doesn't matter because you can't really see it. In which case, I'm okay with that. I wouldn't paint underneath it anyway if you can't see it. But the big arched one they did, and I thought that was a very, very smart addition. Good attention to detail. All right, here's the watermill plus a tent, which, I think all looks great. I think it looks good. Obviously, again, I can't really tell any repeats on the shingles. It doesn't copy paste it. Same with the brickwork or anything like that, which I'm really kind of happy to see. And just, I don't know, it just looks nice. It'll paint up well. There's a lot of different materials there. You got kind of that what is it like? I forget, it has a name. It's that white, that top portion is white, where they kind of actually make it a hollow wall. So because it's a second story, so it's not so heavy. I forget what that is. The watermill, the little paddles are completely shiny smooth. I don't know if they should be or not. I feel like they'd still be wood. But I guess you can make them maybe metal or something like that. And it does not spin, which makes me a little sad, but that's okay. And the tint looks great. The stitching looks good. The flaps look good. All of that looks good. This is, again, their terrain has always been really, really nice. I've been really happy with them. They look great. If they were a bigger scale to where I could use them with my other miniatures, man, I'd be taking so many pictures, wouldn't even be funny. Next, we have a random light gray arc. As you can see, again, I don't know why that one is different. Why did they choose that one to be a different color and a different plastic? I don't know. And all of them look good, so I don't know what the issue is there. But we're now getting into the exciting minis. I like this. The witch, again, great that she's floating up there like that. That horse, like, coming out of the fire is freaking sweet. And Sauron looks good there with his helmet, I guess. A little bent spear there, but otherwise good. The fire pillar, to me, I don't know. First of all, you'll notice the assembly is a little kind of on the base here. You see how they're kind of popped up there? The smaller angel on the fire is also popped up a little bit. You can see it kind of there in the background on their base as well. Not quite flat, I'm not sure why, but if you base your miniature with some textured paint or something like that, you'll be fine anyway. Those wings are amazing. The sculpt design is great there. I love how dynamic they are. Just a great design overall, and really, really happy with that. These would look awesome. I can't wait to see people's painted versions of these. I don't think I ever did. I might need to actually go in and look for it then, because these are super cool. All right, now we have some apocalypse people. I love, love, love Death there on the upside down horse that's all riddled, nasty, and has a mouth on his neck. That's just cool. We have the Antichrist there. Again, the attention to detail with the bodies and the rocks, super awesome. And I don't know what kind of weird satanic symbol thing he's doing there, but I don't plan on repeating it, especially in front of a mirror. Then we got just kind of a evil Pope looking dude here. I don't really know their story, but that one guy's really leaning. I actually kind of like him like that, but I'll probably fix him. And then we have notice the arms on the back there, by the way. I don't know what's going on. It's got some extra backwards legs for whatever reason. The tail on this horse is awesome. And the horns on this horse are awesome. The dude riding it is creepy. That's just a cool sculpt. All of these are amazing. If you recall the one weird kind of death horse, which is coming up in the next batch, has some really cool underneath too. So let's actually go on and get to him, because I really want to talk about him. All right, so first we're going to have Judgment here, and again, it's just, I like the crown on the horn is not very well detailed, but it is a cool idea, so I appreciate the idea, but the implementation is kind of poop. But again, the upside down snake is cool, and just the overall pose is cool. This guy underneath his horse with the freaking snakes coming out of its butt has that kind of creepy little spotted nastiness underneath, good attention to detail there. The bell with the skulls on it on this oxen kind of guy, also very cool and very smart. There's the other fire pillar with Jesus up there holding his sword by the blade like a boss. I mean, go him. I mean, I guess if you can, I mean, I know I would if I could, so why not there? Yeah, these are just super cool. I will say that the horse, the Judgment horse, I don't know if it's supposed to be big or not. I'm assuming probably the scale doesn't matter too much there, but it is huge. Like, that thing is way bigger than, like, the horse on top of the clouds there. So the size difference there is super noticeable. But I guess it's not really a horse if it's got a horn, is it? That'd be a unicorn. Anyway, again, these are just... this is what gets me on Joan of Arc, is you get, like, the typical, like, here's a little French dude. And then it's like, and here's death. Just the variance there is so startling and so crazy. All right, we got our siege equipment out here now, and again, everybody's working towards, breaking down the walls and sieging people and all that kind of stuff. I like these. These are cool. Again, sometimes I think the detail, especially on ABS, for whatever reason, super straight like that. Wasn't super impressed with the detail on all of the wood on the ABS or the ropes. But otherwise, these are great and fun, and I appreciate that. It'd also be nice if the cane was drilled out a little bit more, but painting it black will be fine. In fact, I'm sure some people paint like some weird 3D, 2D thing in there so you can see into it, or some junk like that. I ain't doing that. That's too much work, but yeah, no, these look great, and the scale of it all just looks awesome. All right, everybody's been waiting for the castle, I know, so here is the castle, and again, it is awesome. Again, really like the look of it. As you can see, it's big. The crumbled walls are nice. I like that it's still actually fairly large. It's not like the biggest crumbled wall, but it's not like, if you remember, these guys are like teeny, like the size of that door or less, and so that crumbled wall is still pretty high, which I also thought was kind of cool. You'll notice when we get back to the kind of siege tower, inside of the siege tower doesn't really have detail either, which is kind of a bummer. It would have been nice to really get a picture of my guys in there and not have it see how it's this completely flat plastic. That's not sculpted at all. And it would have been nice to have that sculpt, or, just textured a little bit, so that, when I could take pictures of my guys in there, and it'd be really cool. Still a cool thing, but between the wobbliness and the inside there, I could have liked that more. Honestly, I complain about whatever the heck is on those little outcroppings on the gates. I don't know why some are like these two little kind of square things maybe, and some are just, looks like somebody just attacked it with like a stapler that didn't go through or something like that. I don't know, but overall, these are really nice. The detail's good. They fit together very nice, actually. I kind of like that. The walls fit into the tower as well. And overall, I'm really happy with them. They're really cool. You get a ton of it, and you can make some really cool stuff with it. I am sure. I'm super excited to play the missions that use them. And finally, how could I not finish on this guy? I mean, he is freaking sweet, right? Again, it's super, super cool. Sometimes I can't quite tell the detail, like on the head of the snake tail thing. I can't tell if he has eyes, and if so, I don't know where they are. I think they're probably just really beat. I'd have to look at the art maybe. And sometimes the facial features of the lion face going into the tentacles blends maybe a little more than I'd like, but painting will make that pop out a little bit more. Otherwise, the detail on the skin's great. And, there was one thing I did notice, and I just feel like very minimal gap, by the way. There's a little bit of gap on that tail, but otherwise the assembly is actually quite good and pretty smartly done too on where it is, especially on the face. Sometimes it seems to me like these are blown up a bit. So if you look at like the claws on his feet, it kind of gets that little bit of softness, or instead of a kind of a hard line there, where to me, I don't know why, it looks like kind of when you take an image and you blow it up a little bit. Like look at the front paw there that's holding there. It just, I don't know, something about it makes it seem blown up, right? Like somehow it was smaller and they had to make it bigger kind of thing. I'm really reaching for stuff to talk about though. I mean, these are so great, and I love the pose. I love how he's hanging off the base. I like how he's using the textured base to stand on. I like the design. I like the detail level overall. I like the assembly. These are really good stuff, and it definitely brings me a lot of confidence into the future miniatures that Mythic Games is going to produce. I expect nothing but greatness, actually. The teeth on that snake actually is also really good, and a textured inside mouth. Note that Archon or Awaken Realms, you can texture the inside of a mouth. It is possible, and it looks good when they do it. Anyway, yeah, these look great. Super excited about it. Looks awesome. The assembly, I think, filled it up actually pretty good with the glue, so it looks, I would fix maybe the tail, and that's, I think, about it when it comes to gaps. So overall, pretty good. All right, guys, that's it. If you want to see more unboxings like this, if you want to see more paintings, more reviews, more Kickstarter news and updates, then be sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. YouTube's AI is crap and will not show you all the videos, and you will miss out on something. I do day one detail videos where I will tell you about the early birds and bring that to your attention so you can snag those, because it sucks coming in on day 3 and finding out you just missed it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. Again, if you'd like to support the channel, you can do that by either disliking and commenting and letting me know how great it is. And first of all, it gives me a nice kind of boost, and I appreciate seeing that. But also, it helps the AI on YouTube think that this video is actually worthwhile. If not, turning off the ad blocker and watching those silly ads helps a little bit. Or, of course, you can join via the YouTube member button or the Patreon link below. I put a lot of work and effort, many hours into these, and I really hope that you guys appreciate it. I will see you guys again very soon with another video, and I'm excited. And then later on, starting next month, I'm going to have a video that I've been planning for over a year, and I'm super excited to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for you guys to see it. You'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be good. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Take care.